They'll test everything you know. How to survive a SOC Analyst interview. If you're preparing for a SOC Analyst job, this video will give you the exact interview questions recruiters actually ask, along with the logic behind each answer. Whether you're aiming for your first cybersecurity role or moving up in the field, these questions will help you prove you can handle real-world incidents, analyze threats, and think like a true defender. There's a rhythm to interviews. Casual introductions, a few smiles, maybe even small talk, but after that, it's all business. Let's get straight into it. Explain the CIA Triad. It sounds simple, but this is where the real test begins. They want to see if you treat cybersecurity like a checklist or a philosophy. Confidentiality. Your systems guard secrets. If private data leaks, trust is gone. Integrity. The data must be clean, untouched. Authentic. Availability. No matter how secure a system is, it must stay accessible or it's useless. These three form the spine of cybersecurity. Fail to explain them with depth and relevance, and you're already off balance. But get it right. Explain that every SOC decision ties back to one of these principles, and you prove you don't just memorize the triad. You operate within. Then they take you deeper. Walk me through how DNS works. This isn't a trick question. It's a trap for the lazy. Saying it matches a domain to an IP address won't cut it. That's a headline, not an answer. What they want is architecture. You start with the browser's cache. If the answer isn't there, the system checks the router. Then the ISP's DNS cache. If nothing hits, the query is sent to recursive servers, climbing up the DNS hierarchy until it finds an authoritative name server, the one that holds the IP address tied to that domain. From there, the IP is returned, and the connection is made. They're testing whether you understand how the internet breathes, how communication unfolds behind every click. Because if you can't explain this, how can they trust you to defend it? Then the question changes, but the pressure doesn't. Describe the OSI model. You list the layers: application, presentation, session, transport, network, data link, physical. But listing isn't enough. Each layer is a piece of a puzzle. You need to describe it like you've worked with it. The physical layer is where raw bits travel through cables, air, fiber. The data link layer is where frames are built. Switches, MAC addresses. The network layer routes packets using IPs, routers, ARP tables. The transport layer handles delivery, TCP, UDP, reliable or fast. The session layer keeps the conversation alive, manages connections and ports. The presentation layer makes data readable, handles encryption, encoding. The application layer is what users see. Browsers, email clients, interfaces. They're listening for fluency, for understanding, for clarity. If you fumble here, it tells them your foundation is shaky. But if you guide them through the layers like a seasoned navigator, you earn their attention. Then the tone shifts again. Now they want to know, how do you handle chaos? A computer is compromised. You can't use antivirus or scanning tools. What's your plan? Now the room goes quiet. Your first move is critical. Isolate the machine. Cut it off from the network. Don't let it talk to any external source. Then you pivot into analysis. Inspect the file system for anomalies. Search temporary folders. Check running processes in Task Manager. Study CPU usage and memory consumption. Scan the list of installed applications for anything out of place. Review startup entries, scheduled tasks, system logs. They're looking for how you think, not just what you know. Eventually, if the evidence is thin and the risk is high, you suggest a full re-image. Because when a system is breached and untrusted, rebuilding may be the safest path. But if you skip isolation, if you jump straight to scans, or if you forget fundamentals, they'll see right through you. Then the challenge intensifies. There's a global worm spreading. It's hitting systems fast. What have you done to protect your organization? This isn't just a test of response, it's a test of leadership. Start by identifying the variant and understanding its behavior. Use threat intelligence feeds. See how it moves, what it targets, how it hides. Then launch a full scan across endpoints. Segment the network. Shut down affected subnets if needed. Harden firewalls. Block outbound connections that match IOCs. Monitor logs for unusual outbound traffic or process spawning. Once threats are found, quarantine, re-image, verify. They're measuring your ability to respond in real time, under fire, without delay. Because SOC analysts aren't just monitors. They're the last line of defense. Then comes a different kind of question. Less tactical, more conceptual. What's the difference between hashing and encryption? Hashing is permanent. A hash is a fingerprint. Unique, irreversible. Proves integrity. If two files produce different hashes, one of them has changed. Encryption is reversible. It hides content. With a key, you can unlock it. It protects confidentiality. Mix those up, and it signals confusion. Understand them clearly, and you show mastery of two fundamental concepts in data security. Then they go deeper. Define vulnerability. Define risk. Define threat. They sound similar, but they're fundamentally different. A vulnerability is a weakness in a system. Think unpatched software, exposed ports, or misconfigurations. It's the door left unlocked, unintentionally, but dangerously. A threat is what can exploit that weakness. Malware scanning for open ports, hackers targeting known flaws, even insiders misusing access. And risk. Risk is the chance of that threat succeeding, and the damage it could cause if it does. It's the combination of likelihood and impact. Example, a flaw in a public-facing server is a higher risk than the same flaw in an isolated lab. The vulnerability is the same. The context changes everything. This question isn't just technical. It tests how you think, whether you treat all alerts equally or prioritize based on consequence. Because in a real SOC, you'll face noise, pressure, and limited time. Get this wrong and they'll see a narrow view. Get it right and you show them something more valuable. Security judgment. Now the interview shifts. They've seen your technical side. Now they want to see your temperament. Soft skills aren't a bonus. They're critical. They're not looking for perfection. It's okay to be nervous, but if you're arrogant, vague, or dismissive, that stands out fast. They'll notice. How you explain. Do you speak clearly or hide behind jargon? Do you listen or just wait to talk? They want someone who can talk to both engineers and executives. Someone who's confident but not overconfident. Someone who takes ownership without making excuses. Because cybersecurity isn't a solo mission. It's a team effort, and they don't want a brilliant analyst who can't collaborate under pressure. Then comes their final question. But it's really your turn now. Do you have any questions for us? Don't treat it like a formality. It's your chance to show that you're serious about the role, not just looking for a paycheck. Ask things like, what are the expectations from me if I do get this role? What does a typical day look like in this SOC? How is success measured in this position? These aren't just good questions. They show strategic thinking, that you're not here to impress, you're here to contribute. And that shift in mindset, that's what sets you apart. A SOC analyst interview isn't a test you study for. It's a battle you train for. It's built to shake your certainty, test your instincts, and expose every crack in your thinking. But if you've prepared, really prepared, then every question becomes a step forward. Every scenario becomes a showcase, and every answer becomes a signal that you're ready. Because this role isn't about memorizing answers. It's about navigating chaos, identifying threats before they become disasters, and standing calm in the eye of the digital storm. So prepare with intent. Walk in with clarity. And when the questions start flying, don't flinch. Respond like you belong. If this breakdown gave you clarity, confidence, or just a better shot at acing your interview, drop a comment below, share your experience, and subscribe for more immersive deep dives into the real challenges that define tech careers.